So we have to discuss about Saturn, one of the
Saturn is
biggest
very
planets and also a planet which is known for negative things because of so many
Longevity.
astrologers saying otherwise it is a very benefic planet. I think so. So we are going to discuss about the placement of Saturn in various houses, as this is a class designed for both the advanced course students and the fresh batch students. So we'll start from the very beginning. So we know that in the Kalpurus Kundli, Saturn is the lord of two houses. So which are the houses? Anybody who can say?
10 and 11, sir.
10th and
Makar
11th.
and Kumbh. 11 and
Okay. The name of the sign is Makar and Kumbha. That is Capricorn and Aquarius. But when I am asking about the house, then the answer is 10th house and the 11th house, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
yes,
It's
sir.
the 10th house and the 11th house of Kalpurus Kundli. So what is Kalpurus Kundli? Kalpurus Kundli starts with the Aries sign at the first house and consequently go towards end at Pisces as the 12th house. So now it is the lord of the 10th house and the 11th house. Now in so many classes I have told which lord is the biggest malefic?
11th
Saturn.
Lord, sir.
11th lord. So out of the three Sadhaya houses we have discussed in the last class, third house, sixth house and the 11th house. So as the number increases, we ultimately get the maleficness of the planet associated also increases. Means which is the least malefic? Third.
3.
Third.
Sixth is the middle one. And 11th is the most malefic. Isn't it?
Yes, sir.
So ultimately, every rule is true for the Kalpurus Kundli first. You have to understand this. Kalpurus Kundli has the biggest rule. If you understand how the Kundli works, then half of the understanding will be over. You will definitely understand what is astrology and how astrology is actually interpreted. So now it is the 11th Lord and also the 10th Lord. So I have told one thing. Planet sitting in the 11th house is not very not dangerous. But whoever owns the 11th house is a malefic. Okay? So that is why Saturn is a big malefic. Now who owns the 6th house?
Mercury.
Mercury. But Mercury is not a malefic. Even Mercury owns the 3rd house. Mercury is not a malefic. So somebody will definitely ask, sir, if you are saying the formula that 11th Lord is the biggest malefic, followed by the 6th Lord, followed by the 3rd Lord, and the maleficence decreases, and you are using the Kalpurus Kundli, then how can you say that Mercury, the Lord of the 3rd house and the 6th house, is the planet which is not malefic? Okay. So now to understand this, we must understand the nature of Mercury. Remember one thing, Mercury is a copycat. It always copies the quality of the planet it is associated with, it is aspected by. So whenever Mercury is considered malefic, that ultimately means some planets are definitely going to work very hard to aspect, to get associated, or somehow make some kind of connection with Mercury. Then only Mercury will be behaving like malefic. But 3rd and 6th are such houses which can easily be dealt with. Suppose somebody is having the 6th house Lord Mercury placed in the 6th house, then the other rule says a planet in its own house is not bad. So we are going to use these basic things while understanding the position of Saturn. So now everybody says Saturn is a malefic. Saturn stays in a sign for very long period of time. Saturn moves very slowly. So now somebody is actually having a presence in front of you and the person is of bad character, of bad nature. What will happen? as the person is not going away, it is taking time to go away. You will definitely face the problem for a longer period of time. This is a common understanding, isn't it?
Yes.
So Saturn stays in a sign for 2.5 years. So ultimately 30 months. So in a single sign, Saturn moves only 1 degree in 1 month. Are you getting it?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Only 1 degree in 1 month. Whereas Sun travels 1 degree in 1 day. Sun travels 1 degree in a sign in 1 day, and in 30 days it takes. And when we are considering about moon, then moon will be definitely 18 times faster than sun. 2.5 days only. So now you can understand how the things are moving and how they are going to impact our life. So as per this particular rule, 11th lord is the biggest malefic because it is 6th from 6th. So we have to understand that this Saturn, when it is placed in different signs, how it is going to behave. So now first I will start with common nature of the sign. So you have to understand that. So what are the common nature of a sign? We can divide the signs into various categories and I want to repeat them. First is on the basis of the nature of the sign. So now what are the natures of the sign? Four broad categories of nature. Anybody who can say?
Sir, dharma, artha, kam, moksha.
Dharma, Arth, Kam and Moksha. What about the second category?
Sthir, char, and dual natured.
Sir,
This is also
fiery, fiery, earthy, airy, and watery signs.
great. So now we are going to consider these natures first. Okay.
Hmm.
So now see what is the understanding and how to interpret it. First, in terms of the basic nature, because we know that a particular sign can be a fiery sign, it can be a earthy sign, airy sign, or it can be watery sign. Okay. So now four basic natures first. So can you tell me what is the nature of the sign of Saturn?
Airy sign, sir.
Anybody else?
Airy and earthy.
So the 10th sign is earthy sign, earth sign, Prithvi Tattva. And the 11th sign is airy sign. Okay. 11th sign is airy sign. So now accordingly, whenever Saturn is placed in these signs, the character and the result given by Saturn will be different accordingly. You have to understand this. You can note down the recording is going on so that I can also provide the recording and it will be easy for you to go through the recording and to understand. So the first thing is whenever say the ascendant is falling in the fiery sign. So what are the signs? Fiery signs.
Mesh,
One
sim, and
pregnant.
dhanu.
So now you have to understand the basic nature of planets. Even if we are talking about Saturn, we have to use the same formula for other planets also. So now you see the first sign, which is fiery sign is Aries. Who is the lord of the sign?
Mars.
And how is the relationship between Saturn and Mars?
Inimical
Enemies.
to each other. They are
They are
inimical.
rank enemy of each other. Okay, rank enemy of each other. But there is also a controversial relation. Mars is exalted in the sign of Saturn. Okay,
Capricorn.
and Saturn is debilitated in the sign of Aries. Are you getting it? Mars
sir.
is exalted in the sign of Saturn, but Saturn is debilitated in the sign of Aries, that is also owned by Mars. Very typical relationship. Have you any other pair of such a relationship where a particular planet is exalted in the sign, the other planet is weak in the other sign? Anybody
No,
who
sir.
can say?
शुक्र है, बुध है.
So you have to find out, okay? And you will not find out. This is the beauty of astrology. Why this happens? Why a particular planet loves the environment of the other planet, but the planet itself does not love. Mars always wants to be in the sign of Saturn. but Saturn never wants to be in the sign of Aries. You have to think about it. Let's take any other example so that we can get if there is any similar example. Where Venus is exalted?
In Pisces, Jupiter's sign.
In the Pisces sign, isn't it? Venus is exalted. So now we are going to talk about Venus is exalted in the sign of Pisces, that is owned by Jupiter. Then again find out where Jupiter is exalted.
In
Taurus.
Cancer and Moon
In
sign.
Cancer.
Cancer in moon sign. So now there is no such relationship. Now ask me, what about Sun? Sun is exalted in which sign?
Aries.
Aries.
Aries. Now the Lord of Aries is Mars. Again, it is not having any such relationship with Sun. So now we have to think about this particular line deeply. Why this happens? Why the Lord of Karma gets debilitated in the house of energy, house of brain power, house of personality, the first house, house of status. Why Saturn is debilitated and why Mars is exalted in the house of karma, in the sign of Saturn, in the 10th house. We have to find out. Okay. Now you see why I am saying this. Because ascendant falling in the Aries sign, and we will consider that the Saturn is in any of the fairy sign. So now that simply means we are talking about three signs: Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. This is the first point of discussion. So now you have to remember when such kind of placement of Saturn is there. I'm not talking about whether we are actually deeply going to analyze, but the key points you have to remember. First is this makes the person open-hearted, not very close-hearted, not very overthinking kind of a person who is very reserved, introvert, but he will have an open-hearted person. And he will love social gathering, and he will also be ambitious. That means he will not be satisfied with whatever he gets. This is the typical energy of Saturn. Saturn never tells about what is his aim. He want to pursue the aim lonely, silently, and without much discussion about the same. But here the things are different. Why it happens, we'll discuss in the coming classes. But we have to remember the key points. So what are the key points by now? This person is a open-hearted person. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Social and ambitious, but at the same time it is rash and quarrelsome. So now if somebody is having Saturn in the first house, then this is the prediction. But always remember one thing: the negativity of a prediction decreases when a particular planet is getting aspect of a good planet. Are you getting it?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So always remember this. In the last class, somebody asked me, sir, you are telling that a planet which is sitting in its own sign, it never harms the sign. But at the same time, there is a principle of Karaka Bhavana Sayo. Means a planet which is Karaka of a particular thing is sitting in the same house, it creates problem. So how to interpret these two things? So now we have to again understand, is there any such planet which is sitting in a Karaka house and in own house? Any example? Anybody who can say?
Jupiter in ninth house. Jupiter.
In which sign?
Ninth house, Sagittarius.
So suppose Jupiter is sitting in the fifth sign and the sign is Sagittarius or Pisces, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
So now Jupiter is the Karaka of Santana, child, and Jupiter is also sitting in which house? In the fifth house. Now Karaka sitting in the Bhava, fifth Bhava. The other example is Jupiter is sitting in the fifth house, but it is in any sign. Are you getting it? Any sign, but it is in the fifth house. So what is the meaning of that? Jupiter is sitting in the fifth house, the house for children. And Jupiter is the Karaka, natural Karaka, isn't it?
Yes.
And there is a difference between the two. When I was giving the example that Jupiter is sitting in the Sagittarius and also in the Karaka house, fifth house, then the answer could be given. Now Jupiter is sitting in the own sign and it will not disturb. But for all 11 other signs, what will happen? Jupiter will definitely create some kind of problem related to the house. Are you getting it?
Yes, sir.
So this is how we are going to interpret. Now, coming back to ascendant when it is of earthy nature, Pruthvi Tattva wala Rasi. Who are the Rasis?
Sir,
Taurus.
Vrishabh,
Taurus.
Kanya.
So now
And
again, we
Capricorn.
will simply go one place. The three signs we have already discussed about the fairy sign. So one of that means after Aries we get Taurus. So Taurus is the earthy sign. After Leo we got Virgo. Then Virgo is the earthy sign. And after that, which one? Sagittarius. We have
Capricorn.
Capricorn. So these are the three signs: 2, 6, and 10. So now when the ascendant is falling in this are the signs, no? And we have to see how Saturn is behaving. So we are discussing actually about first house. Are you getting it? Saturn in the first house, but falling in different kind of rasis according to their nature. Fairy sign. So now earthy sign, the rules you have to remember it. Such natives are selfish, greedy, and stubborn. Selfish, greedy, and stubborn. Why? We have to again consider. I will explain everything. But remember,
Sir, lost audio.
Sir has exited out, I think, accidentally.
Oh, okay. Thank you. हम तो इतना सारे मर्क्यूरी लोग हैं कि हमने गुरु के ओवर पोर कर दिया.
hello, welcome back. So when it
Yes,
is
sir.
in the earthy sign, the nature of the native will be selfish, greedy, and stubborn. And all this happens because Saturn is actually weak in the Lagna. It is always strong in the seventh house. So we have to remember and we have to discuss accordingly. Whenever the Saturn is in the first house, but it is in Aries sign, that means the sign of the third, seventh, and 11th. Even though it is in the own sign, we have to understand the nature. The native is thoughtful, studious, that means he is hardworking, sincere, and religious. So now see, in which sign actually Saturn is behaving very good?
In Libra and own sign.
In the
Seventh
own
sign.
sign, in Libra sign, and also in the third sign. And all the signs belong to all its friends and itself.
Yes, sir.
But this is not the true case when Saturn is in the 10th sign.
Correct.
As it is in the Lagna and it is in the 10th sign, even though we understand that a planet sitting in its own sign will not harm, but again, the planet is devoid of energy actually. Okay? Devoid of energy. And the first house is actually the most powerful house. Your thought process, your personality, your health, everything depends upon the first house. So getting someone which is debilitated in the first house wise is not good. But when this particular sign becomes the sign which suits Saturn, it's Mool Trikon sign. Now it is behaving in a very different manner. The person is thoughtful, studious, sincere, and religious. Aries. So now you can understand the importance of Mool Trikon sign also. Because most of the dasa calculation and everything that is also done with respect to the Mool Trikon sign. So you have to remember the Mool Trikon sign of all the planets, and again we have to work on it. And finally, when the ascendant is falling into the watery sign, the native shows lethargic, sensitive, depressive tendencies. Now I can see who are the lord of the watery sign. Tell me. Moon is the lord, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Saturn is having the connection.
Moon.
Mars.
Definitely depressive. Then again, eighth lord, Mars, in its sign, it is debilitated, even though this is not that sign. But this is giving result like lethargic, means your energy is not directed, isn't it? Mars has the energy pinpointed, directed, and some rash nature is there because it is the Mool Trikon sign of Mars. So now any planet coming into the Mool Trikon sign, it will definitely be affected by the Mars. So that is why the person is rash, open-hearted, because you are actually going to have a broad-minded thinking pattern, even though some negative planet is sitting. But when it is a watery sign, now the energy is actually diluted. What is dilution?
Reduction, sir. Power reduction.
Weakened.
So adding water, actually dilution, okay?
Okay.
Dilation is a different thing, dilution is a different thing. You have some salt, now you are just getting the water poured into dilution. Here also watery sign dilute the nature in a negative way. So now this is the reason why the person is lethargic but sensitive, because it has the impact of moon, and finally it has depressive tendency. So now somebody is going to ask, what is the basic nature of Saturn being in the first house? We have to understand these things and we have to see whether some planets are expecting it or not. If good planets are expecting, you will definitely get some kind of relief in the nature, and you have to think accordingly. But these are the basic nature, so we'll come to the second house now. We'll discuss in brief. So now you must understand that whenever Saturn is there in the second house of a person, Saturn is always associated with some kind of work which has been done in the past, and particularly your past life. You need to remember, as first house is your personality, that is why I focus on the personality type basing on the signs. But when it is about second house, third house, then again we have to consider that our past karma is associated with Saturn. So the nature will be accordingly of that kind. So now you have to see that whenever Saturn is in there, someone's second house, then that indicates in the previous birth, the native was actually not very helpful. He was disobedient to his elders. Disobedient to his elders. And this is why in this life he will suffer for his earning. So now what is the relationship of elder with this sign second house? Anybody who can say?
Ancestors.
Ancestors, you can say. Elders means in the past birth we are talking about. So at that time, your elder brother is also elder to you. But we are considering that because of that disobedience, he is suffering in this life. Just try to correlate. So now, from which house your big brother is seeing from?
11th house.
11th
From
house.
the 11th house. And calculate the house from here 11th to 2nd.
4th house.
11th to 2nd, that is the fourth house. Okay. So now see, whatever you have done, the implementation of that doing is always seen from the fourth house. I have told many times. Okay. And it is your past karma. So now from past karma house, what is the distance of second house?
1, 2, 3, 4,
You have to
5, 6,
calculate.
7, 8, 9.
It is a ninth. Ninth is all about Pitru, isn't it? So now that means who were your ancestors or your elders? You have mistreated them, and that is why the bhagya related to money is getting suffered. What you are getting in this life? You are suffering because of money. Why you are suffering? Because you have been disobedient and you are not actually respecting your elders. Now you can also have speech defect. You can easily correlate speech defect. Why? You can say why there is speech defect, chances of getting speech defect.
Second house, sir.
Because second house is related to speech. Also, despite trying very hard, despite good effort, still you are facing miseries in life, problems in life. And if the Saturn is weak and also having malefic aspects, then the childhood is always very difficult. You have to correlate. Problem starts from the very beginning of the life. If Saturn is weak and also aspected by malefics. Clear? So now the age is also proportionate to the cycle of the zodiac. First house represents the very early age, your birth. Okay. Second house, accordingly, keep dividing the 12 houses. You will understand the difference of your life. When all the planets are there in the very first houses, 4, 5 houses, then you have great childhood. If they are posited in good positions, then things will always come or disturb you in the very early stage of your life, before marriage. And if all the planets are sitting in the second half, then things will be always there for you to face after marriage in the second half of your life. So now remember these things. So Saturn is weak and receiving malefic aspect. Then you can say the childhood face difficulties. The person may be separated from the family, and there is also disturbance in the primary kind of education. But if Saturn is strong and well aspected, then the native becomes wealthy, and in the latter half of the life, he will definitely have lot of saving. Who is talking behind? Hello. So now this is how you are going to understand. Can anybody say the few points we have discussed about the second house? So now you can see Saturn is weak and aspected by malefics, then difficult childhood. And as he was misbehaving or disobedient towards his elders in the past birth, he is definitely going to have some financial difficulties and also difficulties in education. But if strong, aspected by benefics, then in the latter half of life, this person will definitely save a lot of money and the person will be gradually having a good life in the second half. So you have to listen to the video and also you have to go through the logic. We'll discuss some logics, but let me complete 4, 5 houses so that you can relate. When Saturn is in the third house, then that ultimately means the person has harmed certain person in his previous path. We are not talking about relatives or elders here. We are talking about some person, the person has actually created harm in the past birth. What is third house? Which kind of person is represented by the third house?
Younger brothers.
Younger brothers and co-born. And also
Neighborhood.
you can say your natives, your neighbors are also seen from the third house. Okay. So now this is one part that the person has harmed certain person. That is why in this life he is having Saturn in the third house, and native is also not very much respected by the younger co-born or neighbors because of that disturbance or the problem he has caused to persons in the previous birth. So now every time we are going to discuss some of the facts which are related to the previous birth. People will simply laugh. How can we know about the previous birth? So now it is not previous birth actually. It is your past also. Somebody is reading the chart at the age of 50. Now the past life things gets continued through Saturn, and you have certain responsibilities which are yet to be completed, and you are getting the Saturn for completing such kind of task. I always say, in whichever house Saturn is, just do your work, complete your responsibility, and don't expect any kind of thank you for that. Okay. So suppose somebody is having Saturn in the ninth house. So now ninth house, you can simply correlate. He must have done something wrong with the guru, with the father, with somebody who is actually who is actually in a very auspicious relationship like father, guru, and somebody who has taught him dharma or a professor. Now what is happening? This birth he is getting Saturn in the ninth house, and he has to complete that particular unfulfilled task, or he have to rectify the wrong he has done in the first birth. So accordingly, we have to understand these things. So now see, when we are having Saturn in the third house, the reason of getting Saturn in the third house is harm certain person, and that is why he will suffer through his younger brothers and neighbors, and he has to actually repay lot of money and also lot of tasks for looking after them. Looking after whom? Usually younger brother and sisters. And the relationship will not be cordial. He will suffer loss through them. And the native should be tactful and sincere in all his dealings with them. This is the requirement. But Saturn gives good results in a Upachaya house. Which are the Upachaya houses?
3, 6, 11.
3, 6, 10, and 11. So here also it is a Upachaya house. Then what will happen? If he is going to complete the responsibility, the negativity of Saturn will gradually decrease, and with time, he will definitely be successful in life. Okay? So now again you have to remember, if your Saturn is strong, expected by benefits, then you will repay the loan fast. You will take care of your younger brothers, even though they will not respect you, they will backbite, but you will complete that and your life will be worthy. And this is the same pattern we are going to discuss. Saturn in the fourth house. That means you have ill treated one of the lady in the previous birth who is now your mother. So it is not guaranteed that the lady who is your mother today was your mother in the past birth. In the past birth, you ill treated some lady who has been your mother. So that is why you are taking the responsibility. Very clear, very easy to understand, and very easy to remember also. So now how you are going to suffer? Your mother will be definitely sick, and she will not be in a position to take good care of you in the child. Are you getting it? Chances of getting separated from the mother is also there, and the childhood will be miserable. This also indicates that the person has a tendency to spend on luxury items, vehicles, houses, and is usually unhappy. You can relate it with the fourth house, Kalpurush Kundli, the house of moon, and you will get all these predictions. But if Saturn is strong, native lives comfortably in a foreign country. Saturn fourth, it always pushes you away from your birthplace. So chances of getting foreign travel, living in a foreign country comfortably is very much there, provided Saturn is strong. Otherwise, the person has to change the residence regularly. Some people are there who usually go on changing their residence. Okay, that means Saturn is bad. Are you getting it? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So there was a time in 2005-6. I changed some 11 houses and rooms while in Delhi. Almost every month I was changing the room. Okay. I did not know why it is happening. But somebody who is changing, I'm giving an example, can relate that if your Saturn is poor, bad, ill placed, then you are much likely to change your houses. If it is strong, you will get all the comforts, and also you can travel to a foreign land and you will settle there comfortably. Okay, but Saturn in fourth house will never help you to stay in your motherland happily. So these are the things, and what you have to do for achieving stability and happiness in this world. The native should serve his mother with devotion and respect. Very clear. Saturn means responsibility. Responsibility related to house, and every house is related to some or the other kind of relationship. As an astrologer, you should remember and you should apply the remedies. Fifth house Saturn. This person will definitely get lack of love and affection, and he will also had some kind of problem with the progeny in his previous birth. He was not taking care of his children, and he was not actually getting love and affection from the parents, and that is why Saturn is in the fifth house. So what will happen? These kind of people usually try to have affection on elderly person because they were not treated properly in the past birth, or they were not taking care of their children. So in this birth, they have some affinity to actually have affectionate relationship with elderly people. But they will never get any kind of such happiness by having association with elderly people also. So what they have to do, as this is the house of mantra, fifth house, they should find solace through devotion to God. Remember the remedy also. More you worship, more you are devotional. If you are having fifth house Saturn, then things will be good for you. And when Saturn is favorable, then you can easily earn through speculation and also get enjoyment because of your children, provided Saturn is strong. If Saturn is unfavorable, then you will definitely face some kind of disappointment in love, and also delay and trouble in getting progeny or children. And stomach problems and loss of speculation are also seen, provided Saturn in the house, fifth house is weak. So you can correlate them. Any particular planet which is weak in the fifth house, it will definitely create problem with respect to speculation. If it is good, it will definitely give you money through speculation. And if it is good, aspected by a good planet, strong, then you will definitely get respect and care of your children. Otherwise, not. Saturn in the sixth house. So now health will suffer. And even though he had talent in the past birth, he could not actually use the talent and always lived in scarcity, some kind of deficiency, not having enough money to spend. Now Saturn is in the Upachaya house, in the sixth house. So Saturn will definitely assure you success. But when, after consistent and sincere efforts, no shortcut, you have to work really, really hard. Then only Upachaya houses are going to give you good results in the long run. And if that happens, you have a good habit, you have a good lifestyle, then ultimately your health will also not suffer. And if there are any enemies, and you have a strong Saturn here, expected by benefics, then you will definitely have the benefit of Satru Hanta Yoga. Satru Hanta means not killing the enemies, but getting rid of your enemies. Huh? Just sending them away from your life. But when Saturn is weak, you should be careful about chronic diseases, enemies, and loss through theft and servant. So all these things are also seen because Saturn represents Seva. Servants are there to help us. So you will suffer through servants. I have one client who usually, during our conversation, said that he has suffered lot of money being lost because of their servants. They usually were doing cheating. So when such kind of case happens, find out the nature of the sixth law, whether it is weak and whether Saturn is having some kind of relation or whether Saturn itself is sitting. Now the seventh house where the sun is, Saturn is usually strong. But despite being strong in the seventh house, where Saturn is there in the seventh, the relationship with spouse and with the association, that means your business partners, it was not harmonious in the past birth. You can connect it. Okay. Fifth house means you did not take care of your progeny. You were not loved and respected. So you try to fulfill the void. Fourth house, you actually mistreated a lady who has become your mother. So now these things are easily going to be connected, and we have definitely some past life connection with the placement of Saturn in our house. So seventh house is your business, seventh house is spouse. So you ill-treated them. That is why Saturn is there in the seventh house, and you have to complete the responsibility. Native is actually very sincere, and he is a well wisher. But if Saturn is not well posited and expected, then this kind of behavior will not be respected by the spouse. Even if you are sincere, you are a well wisher, you will never be respected of having such good qualities and good kind of thinking. It is because of Saturn. So that means marital problem and partnership problems are always there. But when Saturn is strong, and seventh house is being 10th from 10th, it also represents profession. So now when Saturn is debilitated in the seventh house, career can all on a sudden change. Negative changes, having a good job, then leaving the job. You have to check it. If Saturn is strong and well placed, then stability and long life to spouse is also guaranteed, independent of how unromantic the married life is. Okay, so now if Saturn is there in the seventh, on the romantic married life is a must. The spouse will enjoy long life, stability, but when Saturn is actually weak, there is a strong chances of getting sudden reversal in career, having a good job and leaving it, or you are thrown out of the job. What about eighth house? Today somebody was asking, someone is having Saturn in the eighth house. Despite that, the person died at the age of 54. Why? The person died just 11 days back. So now a single formula will never give you all the answers. We have to understand. Eighth house Saturn indicates native was rash and impatient in his previous birth. And that is why he has come to actually enjoy or deal with life slowly. He was not slow. Energy of Mars was working. He was rash and impatient. Now he has become extraordinarily slow, and then only he will overcome the obstacles. So what he has to do when he is facing some kind of obstacles or ill health because of the placement of the Saturn, when Saturn is weak and afflicted, and he is also suffering from chronic diseases, he may have liaison with very lowly people. as it is a watery sign, if it is a watery sign, Saturn may even lead to becoming a drunkard. 8th house, not very good. About longevity, you have to check the third lord also. About the 8th lord also, here Saturn is sitting in the 8th house. That will never ensure a very good and long life, provided you are having strong third lord and strong 8th lord and also aspect of good planets on Saturn. This is the same thing I am repeating again and again, and you have to accordingly plan your predictions. Saturn in the 9th house. So now this person is definitely going to have some problem with higher education, and he was also having problem in long distance journeys in the previous birth. And this has definitely create a particular kind of reaction in its understanding. So in this birth, the person is determined to achieve success by having higher education and by doing all the works related to 9th house using courage, so that he may do research or pursue the study of law, philosophy, occult science, because he has not done these things in the previous birth. 9th house is always a good house. 9th house having Saturn, you are blessed with some kind of determination to do these things. If somebody is not doing and having Saturn in the 9th house, he should do it, because 9th house is 5th from 5th. So you are also likely to enjoy happiness from your children. Lekin this Saturn, if ill posited, afflicted, then financial problems will be there, because luck is always associated with good amount of money, good health, happiness, well respect, and also you can say all good things which are usually associated with the 9th house. So when afflicted, bad health is there, monetary problem will be there, higher achievements cannot be possible, children are not going to respect you, and there will be difference with your younger brothers also. If it is weak, afflicted, then he will not have good respect for the religion. He will be rebellious, irreligious, and will definitely have inimical relationship with father, and he will suffer whenever he goes for a foreign land or for long distance travel. People ask usually, how I am going to do in a foreign land? See the 9th lord. If the 9th lord is weak, 9th lord is expected by malefics, then definitely tell you have to take extra care while traveling to a foreign land. So Saturn will definitely ensure its power. Whatever you have done in the past, you are here to repay the loan. Okay. So now finally, whenever we are talking about Saturn in the 10th house, that ultimately means in the previous birth, he had problem with respect to job, with respect to career, and he actually faced a lot of problem there in the previous birth. So that is why in this life he will be tactful to handle the problems associated with job. He has to also take responsibility of his family, which he could not take because of his disposition, not being very successful or not having lot of money and not being successful in the job. Now in this life, he has to actually take responsibility of family in any case, because family is seen from the 4th house, relatives are seen from the 2nd house. So that is why Saturn in 10th means aspecting the 7th house. He has to balance the energy. So when Saturn is well placed, very powerful in the 10th house, then that means he will definitely be doing very good in career. When weak and afflicted, Saturn will definitely give the person to do a lot of efforts, great efforts, but the result will not be proportionate to the effort. He will do a lot of effort, but he will again fall unexpectedly. Not single time, at least twice he will fall from a very good position in life. You have to be careful. Saturn weak in the 10th house. So if Saturn is good in the 10th house, then also he will be able to have very long distance journeys. He will have holy baths. He will visit various rivers and he will have bath there. And in the latter half of life, 10th house Saturn will definitely run away from the material things. There will be some kind of sannyasi in the later life, second half of the life. Finally, two houses are left. Let me complete, then we'll discuss. Saturn in the 11th house, again it is an Upachaya house, and Saturn gives good result like every other malefic in this house. Don't tell me, sir, here we are actually having some negative result. 11th Lord is malefic. We are not discussing about 11th Lord here. Saturn in the 11th house, we are discussing 11th is a Upachaya house, and every malefic sitting here except the 11th Lord, he will also do bad because it is in its own sign. But when some malefics are there, not having a kind of own sign, and Saturn, for example, is there in the 11th, that means like the previous birth, his friends and elders will help him because he was helped by friends and elders in the past birth. This year, this birth also, he will have some good friends, great elders who will support him, help him. He will accumulate a lot of wealth gradually, but questionable means can be the region. 11th house, negative house, so he may earn ill gotten money. Money earned through bad means. But if Saturn is weak and afflicted, he may not have elder brother or uncle, and nobody will be helpful to him. The very thing we are discussing, weak Saturn will ensure that you are not going to get good friends to help, good family members to help. You may not have elder brothers. Even if your elder brother is there, there is no such good relationship, and you will definitely lack wealth, and trouble to children and sickness can also be seen. Weak Saturn in the 11th because it is 6th from 6th. I hope you can understand how the predictions are being made. And finally, Saturn in the 12th house. That ultimately means the native was having a very bad character in the previous birth. Illicit relationships were there, and that is why Saturn is there in the 12th house. And this birth also, there may be a lot of pessimism, negativity, and failure. And if the Saturn is weak and afflicted in this case, then he will do a lot of unworthy expenditure because 12th is the house of expenditure. He will suffer from financial loss, disappointment, and also sickness. And finally, he will become spiritual in the long run. He will not be worried about what has happened in terms of money, but this will not happen in a very tender age. At the fag end of his life, he will be slowly becoming spiritual. So this is how we are going to have the prediction and the region of Saturn giving particular result in the houses. So if you have any doubt, okay, you can
Sir,
ask.
there are some people in the waiting room to be admitted into the
So
class. So please.
I have added them because they might have thought that this is the 9 a.m. p.m. class. We rescheduled it, but I have the recording. I will say all that. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
So if you have any doubt, you can ask me. No doubt. Anything, even if you can ask me in Hindi, I'm going to answer. Don't worry.
Good evening. Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Am I audible, sir?
You are
हाँ जी सर
audible.
जो आपने 12th हाउस
And
में
your voice is
जी सर
breaking.
जो आपने 12th हाउस में सैटर्न जी जी सर मैं विंडो के पास आ गई शायद थोड़ी इम्प्रूव हो जाएगी अभी ना हाँ जी सर सर अभी आ रही है आवाज
जी टेल मी.
हाँ जी सर जैसे आपने बोला कि 12th हाउस में अगर सैटर्न होता है तो लूज कैरेक्टर होता है बट सर मैंने 6th हाउस में सैटर्न भी लूज कैरेक्टर के लोग देखे हैं जिनके इस बर्थ में इस लाइफ में बहुत सारे रिलेशनशिप्स हैं अदर देन मैरिज लाइक बहुत सारे लोगों के साथ एक्स्ट्रा मैरिटल अफेयर्स एंड नॉट ओनली वन बट मल्टीपल
So what is
भी
your
सर वो भी
question?
होता है ना मीन्स
What is
तो
your
सर वो
question?
उसमें कोई जी जी सर वो नक्षत्र एंड डिग्री का मेरे दिमाग में आ रहा था कि कुछ उसका भी रोल होता है कि जैसे कुछ
I got your question. Kindly let me answer. Huh? So
जी
remember, everybody, these are specific and simple rules, and these are general characteristics. So first, remember one thing: if a planet is strong, so many rules are going to be applied. Suppose Saturn is there in Pisces and in the 12th house. Which lagna is this? The lagna is Aries lagna, isn't it?
Yes.
What is having Aries lagna? Then in Pisces sign, Saturn is placed in the 12th house. Now, what is the prediction for 12th house Saturn? I said that the character of the person is not good. Why? Because actually 12th house represents our privacy, isn't it? 12th house represents our privacy. What we do in our private life. Having illicit relationships that can be seen from 8th house, from 12th house. And we are just discussing Saturn. That never means all the other planets are very good. They will provide you very good character. But when Saturn is being discussed, we have to remember which Saturn is going to give this. In your past birth, you did something wrong with respect to the 12th house affairs. That is why Saturn is there in your 12th house. This is the catch point. Everywhere, this is the point which is getting repeated. Why Saturn is there in the 4th house? Anybody who can say?
सर वो आपने
Saturn
बताया
is
था
the
प्रीवियस लाइफ में लेडी के साथ किसी के
Mother.
साथ
So
जो
now
है
it
वो
is not
किया
that you have
मदर
ill-treated your mother in the previous birth. You have ill-treated some
Yes.
lady in the previous birth who has
Some
become your
lady.
mother this birth. Okay? You have to take the responsibility. Why Saturn is in the 3rd house? Because you have ill-treated your neighbors and ill-treated your younger brothers and sisters. That is why you have to take the responsibility. Even if you are going to take the responsibility, they will not respect your attempts or your contribution. Why in the second? Because you have disrespected some elders, and that is why Saturn is there in the second house. You are also suffering from money because money is also associated with the second house. So we have to actually know when to control our discussion because always astrology is considered to be an ocean. And if I am on a sea beach and I am having the bath, then I know that the water there can be associated with any other point of the ocean. But I am actually having a localized point where I am having the bath. So what we have to do actually is you have to consider certain things. If you actually want to understand the character of a person, then you see character is seen from the first house, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Good
Yes.
character is seen from the first house.
Hmm.
So suppose somebody is having a character which is questionable. Then what is your basic understanding of astrology? What kind of questionable character? Is he a cheat? That means something is wrong with the 6th house. Something is wrong with Rahu. And Rahu must be having relationship with Sun and Moon, isn't it? Why? Because your dignity depends upon the strength of Sun. Your mental capabilities depends upon the Moon. So for becoming a cheat, you require a very strong mind. You have to have a tendency of cheating. Weak-minded people are always feeble. They fear what people will say, what will happen. But when the mind is very strong, na, you can direct it in possible direction because of the impact of other planets. So that is why it is always seen that the dacoits, that the you can say biggest thugs, they are all well educated and they are also very intelligent. Are you understanding this?
Yes, sir.
So we
हाँ
have to
जी सर
always consider the strength, the activities, you can say intimacy is seen from the 8th house also. Okay, from the 8th house. So now when the 8th lord is negative, so many planets are there in the 8th house. Again, we can say that this particular person has some kind of loose character. The same thing happens with 12th house. And also it happens when there is a combination of planet representing some kind of illicit relationship with passion. So Mars and Venus connection should be there. I can simply say Mars and Venus are connected and they are being aspected by negative planets and they are also lord of the negative houses, then this prediction holds good. Simply by seeing Mars and Venus are connected and saying this person is characterless is a very bad kind of actually prediction. So you have to be extra careful when you are doing negative predictions. A person can be characterless even if some good planets are sitting in the 12th house. If the 8th house is afflicted, if the Venus is afflicted, if the relationship house is afflicted, 7th house is afflicted, Rahu is sitting there, Mars is aspecting Rahu, Saturn is aspecting Rahu. So maximum negativity is coming to the house. So we'll discuss in some other class. But for today's class, whenever Saturn is weak in the 12th house, the very placement of Saturn is because of your illegal relationships that happened in the last month. Are you getting it? So this is the answer. We'll add the answer by adding some other combination. In one class, I will discuss about personality traits also. Anybody else who want to ask? Those who have joined the class of late can also ask.
Sir, I have one doubt.
Hmm.
As Saturns will be there for 2.5 years in one house, right?
Hmm.
So for 2.5 years, so many people will born. So all will be having this, means we are seeing like if Saturn is in fourth house, he might have disrespected some woman or his mother or her mother, right?
So you must have listened to one thing that the very Saturn is going to give bad result and good result in the house, isn't it? I have
Correct.
repeatedly told in the class that if
Mhm.
Saturn is weak and malefic or aspected by
Then
malefics,
then
then
this scenario would come, right?
you have to understand, even if
Okay.
people are being born for 2.5 years and Saturn is the very same sign, but Saturn will gradually move from 0 degree to 30 degree.
Correct.
Ultimately, Jupiter will also change the house. So in some cases, Jupiter will aspect. In some cases, Mercury will aspect. In some cases, Mercury will come to meet Saturn. So many things will happen. So that is why the Lagna will also change. Saturn's house will also change, isn't it?
Correct,
Even
sir.
if
Understood.
Saturn is there in the sign for 2.5 years, on the very same day, 12 signs will become the Lagna, isn't it?
Correct, sir.
So you have to use the application. These are
Yeah, and
common
sir,
mathematics.
oh, sorry, sir. One more doubt. Why, sir, Saturn is exalted in Libra sign, but why it is in Swati Nakshatra? Because Swati is Rahu Nakshatra and Saturn is means Rahu wants everything fast. Saturn wants to give slow, right? So I'm
Hmm.
just wondering why Saturn is exalted in Swati Nakshatra.
So actually you have to see at what degree Saturn is exalted, okay? Saturn
Okay.
is exalted at a particular degree. Can you tell me the degree?
Yes, sir. Last time you told
So,
20. Yeah.
so you have to go through the position of the degree and you have to find out who is the sign lord, who is the nakshatra lord and who is the sub lord, okay?
Okay, sir.
And you have to find out the answer using the sub lord. Do you understand? Again, Rahu, Saturn and Venus are very good friends. And Saturn is a control freak. It is not that Rahu is going to help Saturn to behave like Rahu, even though Rahu follows Saturn. Never Saturn follows Rahu. You have to understand.
Correct,
Saturn is a
correct, sir.
control freak means it will have the tendency of Rahu. Otherwise, Saturn will be simple. Saturn will not have very big goals in life. When Rahu is there, materialistic goals will be there. That is why Saturn 7 people are always big millionaires. Are you getting it?
Okay,
Because Rahu gives the passion. Rahu gives
okay,
the answer that you should not be always behaving like someone who is miser, who is always saving money. Instead, you have to invest. You have to do partnership. You have to bring this. You have to bring that. And that is the power of Rahu. I have told in the last class, Rahu and Ketu are just like the electricity in your home. They are not actually bad energies. They are the energies you are going to use. Certain equipments are there which require just a small current. certain other equipments are there which require a big current. So now when you can control that energy, Rahu behaves just like Mars, because Mars is the, you can say, commander in chief of the Devatas, and Rahu is the commander in chief of the Rakshasas. And you must have seen in the epics that every time there is a fight between the Rakshasas and the Devatas, who are going to win?
Mostly Rakshasas.
The Rakshasas always wins. And that is why there is intervention of the Supreme Lords. Then Vishnu comes into picture, then Ma Durga comes into picture, then any other Lord, which the Lord of Lords will come into picture. So that is why Rahu is always considered as someone who can defeat Sun and Moon together. So now if you have control, you can use the energy of Rahu. Rahu is creativity. Rahu is extraordinary talent to take challenges. Rahu is greatest power of intuition. Even though people say Ketu represents that, Rahu has that power. Rahu can grab anything. So now if it is in Saturn's house, it will behave like Saturn. It will be hardworking. It will be challenging. If someone is throwing some challenge, Rahu will definitely accept it. It will not run away. All good planets are the planets who run away easily. That is why good planets are never good to be placed in your third house, sixth house, 11th house. They never work hard. They are just like the Devatas. Even though they are the ruler, they are getting all the benefits. They will simply run away when there is a challenge in front of them. So now Rahu and Saturn, they are combined. Nakshatra of Rahu. So Saturn, instead of having its own energy, will also have the energy of Rahu. Will the energy of Venus, energy of equality, means equal energy of Saturn and equal energy of Rahu. So that is the greatest thing. Think about
Okay, sir.
the people, the politicians. Their Rahu is very strong. But Rahu is always seen to be in the house of the 10th. 4 and 10 axes are considered. What does it mean? Ketu is there in the 4th. They usually do a lot of charity, do a lot of work related to people of their native place. We simply see the output. After 10 years, 20 years, we see this person is the prime minister, this person is the chief minister, he is living a very lavish life, he is eating 2 lakh rupees mushroom every day. We just say that. But what he has done in the past 20 years, 30 years, you cannot win a simple election in a society. That person has won the election and he is ruling the world, he is ruling the country. That ultimately means you have a balance between the house of Saturn and house of Rahu. You are not very good. You are tactful. You are diplomatic. Also, you are hardworking. You see, people dies every day. Even close relatives never come. But I have seen those who are good leaders. They usually attend the funeral of almost every person of that locality. Have you seen that?
Yes, sir.
So these are the rules: consistency, energy, efficiency, a balance between Rahu and Saturn. This is the combination why Saturn is very exalted. You also use, don't take any energy to be negative or positive. You have to be having a clean slate first. Don't stereotype. Saturn is bad, Rahu is bad, Ketu is bad. Ketu is not bad. Ketu is exalted. Wherever Ketu is, it will give some kind of fine tuning, special knowledge, intuition. But we are not using that. We simply say Ketu means it is detachment. We'll run away, we'll do this. For 99% people, it is detachment because they are not going to work hard. They are not going to focus on their energies. But Ketu creates Dhwaj Yoga. If Sun is status, Ketu with Sun means huge status. If moon is money, Ketu with moon is huge money. But only 1% people will be understanding and applying this in life. Everybody thinks that the luck will favor me and everything will come to my hand. Even the king of the jungle, which is the lion, it has to run after the deer for a meal. Never the deer comes and say, "You are the king, let's have the breakfast, I am here." So remember this law. Nobody is actually focusing on the 10th house, the house of Saturn, the energy, the work, the responsibility. So today's class is all about that. And every particular planet, whichever is actually very exalted, it has some story with the sub-lord, not the nakshatra lord. Story is always associated with the sub-lord. Why the energy is very large with that particular understanding. Just think about where sun is exalted, tell me.
Aries sign.
What degree?
10 degree.
So you will find Ketu is the nakshatra lord, isn't it?
Yes.
But sun is exalted. They are big enemies. Astrology is not actually very simple to understand. People usually remember the rules. They never understand why this happens. I have told you Ketu and sun will create huge status. And status, Ketu is the Karaka of Dhwaj flag, highest point. So that is why that combination should be there in the first house. That is why sun is exalted. Okay.
Okay, sir. Yeah.
Anybody else who want to ask anything? You can ask in Hindi. No, no, you should not bother about that. Today is an all English class. I am trying to answer because I am very much comfortable with both the languages. But you can ask me. No need to be a very good English speaking person. You can ask and I will answer.
सर सन एंड केतु ग्रहण योग नहीं करते सर.
सारे करते हैं. For the common people, every planet creates grahan योग. Okay. For people who are not successful, they have Rahu and Ketu always act like malefics and negative. All the planets, I read in a book yesterday that actually the planets never give results. Even though we say they are the karaka of everything that is happening in our life, they never give any kind of result. Then who gives? It is
Our
our own
karma.
karma for which we actually suffer in a particular way. So now when we are going to set the karma right, things will always come and follow our understanding and the path. Result will be accordingly given. So now what is Grahan Yoga? So you understand that whenever there is a specific position of sun and moon, then we cannot see the sun or we cannot see the moon, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
One is Surya Grahan and the other is Chandra Parag. So now, what will happen? What is the science behind it? Anybody who can say? So suppose
Alignment. Earth, they all
Earth is
align in
moving around the sun. Okay, Earth is moving around the sun.
they are
Now
in
the moon is
alignment.
also moving around the Earth. So
Hmm.
remember one thing, that the sun is in the middle and Earth is in front of it and moon is behind. What will happen?
Grahan.
Eclipse.
Hmm.
Eclipse. But why it will happen? Because the light from
They
the
are
sun will
alignment.
be blocked by Earth
It is
and
being
it will
blocked.
not
The light is
reach.
being blocked, sir.
It will not
Alignment,
reach
sir.
moon, isn't it? As
Temporarily it is.
Earth is in between, the light from the sun will not reach moon, so we cannot see moon, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Hmm.
So now that is Chandra Parag. And when we cannot see sun, because moon will come in between, in front of us, moon is there. So now moon will block a portion of our view. So certain area of the earth cannot see the sun. What is that?
Surya Grahan.
Sun.
So now ultimately, sun is father. Okay?
Yes,
And
sir.
earth, you are the person who is actually having the effect of all the planets. We are earth. So now when we will say that we are actually suffering from Surya Grahan, when a person is going to lose his father at an early age. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Because his father is no more, his father is not there to look after. So that person is actually having a Grahan Yoga. Ninth house is represented by father. Ninth house also represents Guru. Somebody is not having a Guru to give light. He is repeating the same mistake again and again. He is doing so many courses, one after the other, spending a lot of money. But the understanding is not there. It is also a kind of Grahan joke. But here, instead of Earth, which planet is actually uh, falling into action? Jupiter. Are you getting it?
Yes,
Guru
sir.
Chandal dose, not having a good guru to actually help you. So guru is falling in between. So now Grahan has a lot of meaning. Grahan means you cannot see the sun. You cannot see what is the calling of your Atma. Because sun is Atma. You do not know what you are going to get in life. So you are under the influence of Grahan. That is why it is illusion. You are a very poor person, but you are under the illusion that there are so many crores of people who are more poorer. You can say they are poorer than you and you are happy. So that is an illusion. I am richer than crores of people. Okay. So what is illusion? Not understanding the reality of life. Always having some good reasoning to say that whatever has happened for good. They are not trying anything. They are not doing anything. So don't go by the literary meaning of things. Surya Grahan. If there is a Grahan like this, then why sun is exalted in the nakshatra of Ketu? Ask any particular astrologer. He will fumble. He will not answer. Every planet has huge energy in between. Ketu is the darkest energy. And matter resides all the energies. Okay? We always say the kind of a bulb which is glowing in your room, if that particular mass of the bulb is converted to energy, then your room can be glown for a period of more than 300 years. Okay. So if that can happen, then people will write expiry date of the bulbs, adding 300 years. So you have to get the energy from that planet. Don't go by any kind of simple understanding that this is bad. Why I was actually explaining in the class? If Saturn is bad, then we can do good. Certain reason was there why our Saturn has been bad. We have to rectify them. It is in the third house, take care of your siblings, take care of your neighbors. It is in the fourth house, take care of your mother. It is in the ninth house, take care of your father, be religious, do some upasana. Very simple, but nobody would do. They will simply attend classes, they'll simply listen, and at the end of the day, their work will not change. And they will expect a changed result. That will never happen. Okay. I am teaching you. I know. Even if this is a free class, so many people are saying, sir, I want to join your advanced class. I want to have consultation. So I know it is not free. I am doing my job and accordingly I am being rewarded. Very few people are watching the videos. Despite that, those who are interested, those who can understand, yes, there is something new to understand. There is something new to learn. People will get associated with me. It is not the single job I am doing. It is not that I am having the bread and butter out of this. Why? Because I am doing my karma. Saturn is there in the 10th house. So now why so many jobs? Anybody will ask, sir, why you are doing so many things? You are doing law, you are doing research, or you are doing teaching, or you are teaching astrology. I have to understand because Saturn is not the only planet to give you profession. Who will give me profession? 10th from Saturn will give me profession. Moon is exalted over there. Saturn aspecting the house will also be associated with profession. 10th Lord in the first house will give me profession. So Mercury is there with the Sun. So teaching is giving me profession because 10th Lord is Sun, government job. Somebody will ask, then how come you are also teaching astrology? Then I have to again find out how astrology is associated. It is because Mercury is going to influence my first house. My personality has to be saved by Mercury, and Mercury is in the sign of the astrology, that is your Scorpio sign, and Jupiter is in the sign of 8th house and also the sign of Mercury. So there is a correlation. So if I am not going to act actually, I will not progress. We have to find out. People ask, I have been out of work for the last 10 years. What will happen in the coming 10 years? Will I will sit idle again for the 10 years? Don't ask me. Go and join a job. Don't go for the money. Just tell your friend, give me 5,000 rupees, give me 200 rupees, I will work. Sitting idle at home is killing your Saturn. You are also planning for your future next birth. You will again be doing the very same thing and suffering. To find out, astrology is very simple. Provided you are going to work on the energy in your chart, the very same connection will be making somebody multimillionaire, and the very same connection will be somebody will begging because of that combination. Why? Because somebody has activated the combination and somebody has not activated. Second house, you are asking about money. In tomorrow's class, I will be discussing again about money. The Dhan house and importance of the second house. It will be catering to the need of students who are in the advanced class and also in the very new batch that we have started. So it is already 9:30, 1.5 hour class is already there. I can take a last question to answer, and anybody who will first ask, I will definitely answer the question. Last question.
Sir,
Hmm.
sir, Guruji, Shani with Mars in the fourth house, how does it Mars affect?
See, this is a very typical kind of question where we have to actually gather a lot of information. Sunny
Okay.
with Mars, then first we have to see the Lagna, isn't it?
Lagna Gemini.
Gemini Lagna. So now Saturn is sitting in the 3, 4, 5, 6, in the sixth sign, in the friendly
Yes.
sign, isn't it?
Hmm.
And what about Mars? Mars is the primary house of Mars is Aries. Okay. So now it is
Yeah.
sitting from the Mool Trikon sign in sixth
Hmm.
house. Okay.
Hmm.
Mars is not good. House wise, Mars is also weak in the fourth house. And also
Hmm.
Mars is weak in the fourth sign, Cancer. So that is why it is third away from the sign. So actually Mars is behaving like a negative planet here. Two malefics
Okay.
are in the fourth house. So definitely the person will not be happy in the, I can say, happy at home, and the person will not be having a very happy life also in the place of birth. Are you getting it?
Okay.
Sir,
Eighth,
also relation with mother?
relation will mother will also suffer because Saturn, I have already predicted about fourth house Saturn. Now Saturn is aspected by a malefic. Here aspect means first aspect. Okay, the common aspect. Even though we say that the aspects are 4, 8, 7 or 5, 9, 7, but when first house is there, then this is the closest aspect one can get, or you can say they are in combination. So the efforts and the effects are very strong. Okay. So now again see about the chart that what house is represented by Mars here. A Gemini is the sign. Then the house will be 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, sixth house. Okay. And also
Hmm.
the 11th house. So Saturn is very bad. Sorry, Mars is very bad, isn't it? Mars is the lord of the 11th and lord of the 6th. Huge malefic. House
So,
wise
sir,
debilitated. But somebody will say, what is the positive points are you are telling? That every combination can have a positive point also. So Saturn is hard
Hmm.
work and Mars is electrical engineering, Mars is landed property, Mars is doing something related to land, Saturn is construction. So if somebody is going to be in construction business, he can be a multimillionaire. He have to just take the uh, enhancement quality of Mars, do some rituals of Mars. He'll be blessed because Mars is also a lot of the Upachaya house. If you are not doing anything, Mars will create the negativity to larger extent. If you are doing something, it will pacify the Mars energy, isn't it?
Okay.
So positives are there. We have to understand
Okay.
that. Okay.
Okay.
This is a good
Yes, sir.
combination for going to the foreign land also.
Hmm.
Because Saturn is very strong. In the fourth house,
Hmm.
I have told you are
I will
likely to
take you
have
to.
chance. Some engineer will be going to a foreign land, will be settled there, and he will earn. Not very bad combination, as people say. People say because
Hmm.
90% people are failure in this world. Okay, they do not
Hmm.
get anything, and they do not actually do anything. They don't deserve anything. Okay,
Okay.
thank
so,
you.
Okay.
sir,
Thank you.
if
Thank you, Guruji.
Haji.
if Saturn is a bad planet,
हाँ,
and let's just say it is sitting in a decent house, be it third, sixth, or 11th house,
हम्म,
and don't know if it's strong or not, but it's sitting there, which is supposed to be a good placement for Saturn. So does making Saturn strong or weak in these cases help or hurt you?
There are so many rules for understanding. Okay. So as we are in the initial classes, but the advanced students knows that certain rules are, some houses are very good. Okay. For example, 1, 5, and 9. So suppose Saturn is sitting in somebody's ninth house. And so Saturn is also the ninth lord. Now Saturn will be very strong. Saturn is sitting in Libra and Saturn is also sitting in the ninth house or in the fifth house. Then again Saturn is very strong. But suppose Saturn is very near to the Aries sign, Saturn is weak. Saturn is very near to the first house, second house, 12th house. Saturn is very weak. Saturn is being aspected by Ketu, Rahu, or Saturn is aspected by even, say, Sun. It is very weak combination. By Mars, it is a weak combination. So we have to understand. And these are the basic rules. To understand the auspiciousness or the power of a planet, ask 10 different questions. The lord of which house is Saturn? Is it a good house or a bad house? The place where Saturn is sitting, it is a friendly sign or exalted sign. The planets which are aspecting Saturn, whether they are friends or enemies. The degree of Saturn, whether it is strong or weak. The nakshatra associated with Saturn, whether it is strong or weak. The Ashtakvark point of Saturn in the house, strong or weak. And so many answers are correct. And you will say that Saturn is very strong. If the answer is not correct, Saturn is very weak. But then ask the person what you are doing. If he is in good job, he has been consistent in a job. Despite all these answers, Saturn is very strong. Because he has made Saturn strong using the karma principle. And karma is the best principle. Okay.
Okay.
Whatever is
Thank
weak,
you.
that can be made strong. Whatever is strong, that can be made weak. By not doing, by doing things against that planet, you will make them weak. By
Hi,
doing
sir.
things associated with them,
Sir,
it will.
if Saturn is debilitated in the ninth house for Leo
Hmm.
ascendant and being expected by Mars, what is the
Hmm.
result for that, sir?
Definitely, there will be hardship relation to pursuing any higher studies. And whenever you will do some kind of pilgrimage or doing some rituals, then there will be some kind of problem. You will not actually have adequate money to do that. And the relationship with father will also suffer. Because Saturn is actually the karma karak planet. So when it is weak, you need to strengthen it by doing the work related to that house. So as it is weak, you will face difficulties in higher education, but you have to complete the higher education by any means. You have to respect your father. You have to also do something for the religious purposes. And definitely in the second half, Saturn will give you very good result. Mars is there. If Mars is very strong and benefic, then you will have energy to do so. If Mars is also very difficult planet or its placement is not good, then what will happen? It will create difficulties in a further way. So add the energy and understand. Okay.
Sir,
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Anybody who wants to tell anything in the concluding?
sir, if Saturn is sitting with many planets like Venus, Mercury, uh, will it
So
affect?
there is a term called planetary war. Okay. When so many planets are there, when 4 or 5 planets are sitting is not good. But the higher degree planet is very powerful. It's part the planetary war principle. But we will have a separate class on this. What will happen when so many planets are sitting together, we will discuss. Okay. Because see, suppose you are sitting with 4 of your friends, and I am asking if you are making a party or doing something for celebration, how the celebration goes. Then suppose all the 5 friends are very much friendly and they have a very cordial relationship. What will happen to the party?
It'll be a good party.
It will be a good party. But say 2 of them are enemies. They always try to actually exploit, try to break the peace. What will happen?
The party will be ruined.
Party will be ruined. If those two people are very strong, then what will happen?
The party will have to be cancelled.
The party will be there, but they will beat each other, and some very dangerous thing can also happen. Are you getting it?
Yes, sir.
So we have to use the common sense. Planets are like people sitting together. Who is strong, who is weak, you have to find out. Which dasa is going, you have to find out. Then only you can find out what will happen. Okay. So now these are the last questions of astrology. What happens when 5 planets are sitting together? 4 planets are sitting together. Physics and astrology will end there. 5 planets sitting, 4 planets sitting. Very complicated answer. Be an hesitant answer. Which planet is following whom? So Mars is following Venus. What will happen? People will ask. Mars is the husband and Venus is the wife. So now Mars will get the wife. Again, I will tell Saturn is following Mars. So that means somebody will get the husband after getting the job because Saturn is job. So we have to relate like this. These are trivial things. But the real beauty of astrology lies in understanding which planet is actually powerful to give result at a given time. So many factors are there. The dasa system is there. The strength of planet is there. This various strength survival is there. The friendly and enemic relationship is there. So unless you conquer all these things to get a unified result is next to impossible. Otherwise, you will end up giving only one-line predictions. And one-line predictions are true for common people. And astrology is not a subject for common people actually. These are subject for uncommon people. That is why only few rishis were there in our past who have made all these rules and principles. Other people are simply blindly following them. 20 or 30 rishis were there who were actually working on it because this is such a rare science. And to understand that, we have to work on a single point for so many days. You have to find out sun is exalted. That is not the only answer. If sun is exalted, why it is exalted, when it is exalted, when the result of sun I will get. First find out if your 10th lord is exalted and you have got a job on a particular date. Then find out the position of planets on that date. If you have got married, find out the position of planets on the day of marriage and study your 7th house, 7th lord, planet sitting in the 7th house. You will understand astrology because trying to find out answer of astrology using a kundli is very difficult. But trying to find the answer of astrology using the past event of a chart is very easy. Find out and you will be surprised. Okay, this is the easiest way. Find out a person who is very much miser. He never spends. You will find out the reason. See the 2nd house, see the 5th house, see the 9th house. All the good houses are actually not good. His nature will be very bad. 2nd house is eating and loan is seen from the 6th house. So somebody is giving you food. If there is a 8-second relationship or 6-second relationship, you will understand that you will be given by others. You will never give food to others. Find out. Use the common sense and try to find out. First find the person, find his nature and answer yourself why this person is behaving like this. Then see his chart, you will get the answer and you will understand astrology. And you will become an astrologer within 1 month. If you start studying about people and their behavior and reading their chart. First read their behavior, then see the chart. Somebody is not having good relationship with his younger brother, find out the relationship of 3rd house with the 1st house, find out the relationship of Mars with the 1st house, position of Mars, you will get the answer. Somebody's father is not taking responsibility, see the 9th house, see the sun, see the relationship of sun with the lagna lord of the person, with the lagna, you will get the answer. Okay.
Sir, any book which you would recommend to read to learn all this?
So I will recommend some books and I will write them in the WhatsApp. You have to refer to them. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much for attending the class.
Thank you
And
so much, sir. The class was
Thank you, sir.
wonderful. Thank
Thank
you.
you, sir.
namaskar and good night. Okay. So I will share the recording because I am going Delhi in 2-3 days. So my daughters are busy reading. One is preparing for medical examination, and the other is a big scientist. So they are not actually interested to do work on astrology. So I am sorry. I will go there and I will share this. Okay.
Thank you so much, sir.
Okay. Namaskar.
Namaskar, sir.